Let me be clear. I don't do this for likes. Most often, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not caring about how I butcher words or how I appear to some people. The fact that most of you don't know, but I know, that we will never be free, none of us, until Africa is free. Because at the very core of each and every human being is the fact that the cradle of civilization is in Africa. So that makes you all Africans, white Africans, pink Africans, red Africans, whatever you want to call it. In Africa, there is every color, size, and a multitude of cultures represented in that just one continent. It's the richest continent on earth. I will open with this because this is my true heart. My black folks, my brothers and sisters, I should and I have to put you first because you've been put last so many years. But I do not hate any human beings. But we must expose its crimes. We must address the Black Holocaust as the greatest tragedy in history, with the loss of life beyond calculation, yet affirm that we are still one human family. And we call for those responsible to be disciplined. But like the unruly children that they are, it is our fault and our responsibility to do that. Some of the things that keep us the way that we are is disunity, disorganization, collaborators, shared vision and strategy of the oppressed, worldview of righteousness and sacrifice are things we need to consider. Let me begin with the truth. We must never hate any person or people. Hate is poison and it eats away at the soul, but not hating does not mean staying silent. Not hating does not mean closing our eyes. We are called to uncover racism, to expose injustice, to call it by its name, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. And so we must speak of the greatest time and crime against humanity, a wound so deep that it still echoes today, and the pain that we hide. It is called the Black Holocaust. You see, we want things to get better, but we don't want to sacrifice nothing. The transatlantic slave trade, colonization, apartheid, and the many changes that followed, this was no small chapter in history. This was the greatest tragedy the world has ever known. Tens of thousands of lives were stolen, bodies tossed into the ocean. Some even walked into the sea rather than be slaves. Cultures shattered, nations dismembered, families torn apart, a loss of life so vast it cannot be counted, a loss of dignity so great it still haunts us. And yet, we still must say we are one family. Out of Africa came all humanity. So crimes against Africa are crimes against the human soul itself. Those responsible, those nations and powers, those corporations and governments and institutions that profited, they must be disciplined. Like the unruly children they are, whatever it takes. For just as a reckless child must learn boundaries, so must reckless powers be held to account. Otherwise, they continue to burn, destroy, and enslave without end. Now, here is the tragedy without tragedy. Africa's suffering has not come from outside. Too often, disunity, disorganization, and betrayal have weakened us from within. White supremacy alone could not have triumphed without black collaborators, those who sold their brothers and sisters into slavery, those who today sell their people out for wealth, fame, and a proximity to power. They want to be close to the people that abuse us. These collaborators are willing tools of oppression, and as long as they are among us, our struggle remains twice as heavy. So we face a double challenge: to confront the external forces of oppression and to cleanse the internal weakness of disunity and betrayal. This is not an easy work. It demands sacrifice. And here we must face another uncomfortable truth. Most people are unwilling to sacrifice. Most people will not risk their livelihood, their comfort, their lives for future generations. They prefer silence to struggle, comfort to courage, but history has never been moved by the majority. It has always been moved by the faithful few. So if you want to be the majority and stay silent, stay over there and stay away from us. What then is our vision? What do we fight for? It is simple and yet profound. A world where every human being lives in dignity. A world where Africa is not bled dry, but stands as equal among nations. A world where poor are not forgotten. Where no child goes hungry. Where justice is not just a slogan, but a living reality. And what is our strategy? First, unity. We cannot afford to be divided. The oppressed of the earth must see themselves as one struggle, whether in Africa, the Americas, Middle East, or Asia. Division is the weapon of the oppressor. Unity is the power of the oppressed. Second, courage, not symbolic in nature. Courage, not hashtags, not moments of outrage, but the courage to sacrifice, to give up comfort for justice. To risk today for tomorrow. Without sacrifice, freedom is an empty dream. Third, accountability. We must deal with collaborators. No liberation can come while betrayal is tolerated. Those who serve the oppressor must be exposed and stripped of power to harm their own. Finally, we must hold to a worldview of righteousness. That means believing that justice is not an option but a duty, that dignity is not granted but inherited, that life is not measured by what we take but by what we give to generations yet unborn. To live without fighting for justice is to betray life itself. So I ask you, will history say of us? Will it say that we allowed comfort to silence our conscience, that we let divisions rob us of our power, that we feared the oppressor more than we loved our children's future? Or will history say that we found the courage to stand together, the unity to fight together, and the righteousness to sacrifice together? The answer is in our hands. The Black Holocaust was the worst tragedy in history, but let it not also be the end of our story. Let it be the fire that burns away cowardice, the lesson that teaches us unity, the call that summons us to sacrifice. We are one. And because we are one, we fight not just for Africa, not just for black people, but for the soul of humanity itself. And if the reckless powers of this earth must be disciplined, then disciplined they shall be. Whatever it takes for justice, for dignity, for future generations. The cause is righteous. The vision is clear. The strategy is unity, courage, and accountability. The worldview is love and justice for all humanity. The only question that remains, do we have the will? Now, I will tell you this. I am so glad that I have said this. I don't ask for your love. I ask for your ears and your understanding. Someone said to me on a comment yesterday, that we are Americans. We are a compilation of many things, but at our very core, you have to go to the cradle of civilization, something that nobody wants. You try to run and you try to hide, but you can't run from who you are.